Okay, so let's go back to this one. So with debug, we can actually see the variables. You see, I can check here. So first of all, let's see if this is true. So if this is name and this is name, and you can see this is false because they're not the same. So now I carry on, and then it will stop again. Now this is a pack of carrot, and this is milk. Yeah. This is pack of carrot. This is pack of rice. Play. Pack of pork, milk. Play. Pork and rice. Pork and carrot. Milk and milk. So this must be true.
Yeah.
Because this is milk and this is milk, right? Yeah, this should be true. So let's see. If I do play, this should stop here, and this is true. So this is true. So now if this is true, we'll stop in here because it will console log. And if I stop here and when push play, this is printed. So now this is true. Right? So if I go here, obviously this has to finish. So that's the problem. So you're looping through, and the last one will be the one saved in here.
So the last one is true.
So you see, it never went here.
Oh.
You are looping here, and then the last one, because now you see this is milk and this is pack of rice. Then I push play, and then when this is done, it goes here. But it goes, and this is false because you are looping through first. So you should move this inside here. You should move this code inside the loop. You understand?
But I don't think it's a good idea because for each you have to break the first loop. For example, if you have two milks, but the milk is the last one for the last option, then you add it. You have to go through the first of the. You have to go through the whole list, compare with each one, right?
Yeah.
But it will always, if you use for each, it will always compare the last one.
Yeah, but yes, but this particular code, it will never skip it because this one will hold the last operation of this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the last operation.
Yeah. So it will first finish the loop.
Yeah. So you go through the.
We'll go through all the items. We'll finish the loop and then we'll evaluate this.
Oh, so then you go through again.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So I will move this inside.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because this variable that is evaluated here is going to hold the last value of this loop.
Okay.
But the second example you did works.
Yeah, it did work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you fix it. It's okay. It's okay how to debug. I'll just show you this now quickly. Okay. So this is important to also see the behavior of your code and try to optimize. One optimization we could do here is this. You can use sum here. This is what I wrote in Slack. If you write sum here, sum it will stop if you return true.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want.
I did something else. I wrote a filter and then assign it to a variable, and then when it's true, so return the item. the object, and then when it returns, so it makes new array, and then I assign the new array to my old array.
Okay, perfect.
So you didn't need to make another if it's not exist.
Okay, yes. Also, filter is nice. With some, the difference between for each and some is that you can return something. So if you return true, this will break when this exists. That's the difference. So if you see this run again, it will when exists, it will actually break. And you can see that this is working now.
Yeah.
Because if I go into the shopping list, my shopping list as 4 items and not 5. So you could fix it with sum. Okay. Perfect. So I'm gonna use now this. So let's first of all let's review. So if you go back here, there's my cool. So all of you did the exercise, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So the extra point. Add all the different checking, so I cannot add items with negative price, for example, or empty names. So I'm gonna take now our example that is here.
This one is I didn't do it, but I can upload my new one.
The new one is doing the extra as well.
Yes, the extra bonus. I did
Ah.
in a new file. That's why.
Okay, yes. Send me the latest one. Nice. Thanks for doing the exercise, and also nice with the documentation. I'm taking Ina as example. She wrote some documentation, so that's pretty nice. Perfect. So let's download this. Let me. Close that one and that one and that one.
I forgot. I didn't read the bonus.
Okay. Bonus points is not super important. Let's do this first. So where am I? It's actually copied it over here. Cool. So now if I run this, oops. So if I run this one, okay. So this is the big list.
Yeah.
I guess it's the two list. Yeah. Nice. Okay.
But if you say the my shopping list the second, I add one items that the amount.
Carrot and carrot.
Yeah, the price is minus, but it didn't show in the shopping list too. That means it's.
Yeah. And this is nice because you have carrot here on one shopping list. You have carrot on the other shopping list, and then when you do the big shopping list, you actually have 2 pack of carrot. So that's nice. That's the correct behavior. Oh, and this won't work, right? So if I do this won't work because it's -2, and if I do this, item is not valid. So let's search that string. Okay, yes. Yes, so if the name is empty or the price is less than the price is less than 0, or the shopping amount is less than 0, is perfect. Yeah, you are console logging. So let's improve just a tiny bit. So this is totally perfect, right? But let's do this. Okay. And instead of a console log, we throw an error. Okay. And then we say error. Then I can do this. Then I return for all those if. So basically, I decomposed that if and had one specific error message for each. Okay, and then it will stop here the function. So if there is an error, we'll throw an error and stop, stop, and stop. If those are all valid, it will continue and do the operation here in the end, and display this. So let's run this again. Yes. So now you can see the code is brutally stopping because we are throwing an error, and when we throw an error, we need to catch it. So that's we have the try and catch. So now where I call this function, where is this one? Where's the this one, right? So I can, like in this case, I can have like simply a big try and catch here. So try to do those operations. Otherwise, here you can do console log error. So now if I do this, we'll say error, which is this, error item as an empty name. And it will tell you where is the problem. And you can see the code is carry on. So now you have a much more refined error by throwing an error and catch it with this. So you're saying here, try to do those operations. If there is an error, catch it here and console log it. So what do you gain by doing this? First of all, you know there is an error, because say error here. Second of all, you know where the error was created. So it says index 106. So if I go in this index 106, so this index 106 is this one. Is this item or AIC. So you have the stack trace that help you to debug your error. In the other case, just by just console logging, there is an error. I don't know in my code where the error is. because I don't have the stack trace. So like, now find it will be much harder. So this is like it's a trick to quickly find the error. Okay, I'm very impressed. This is perfect. Good job. Very good job. Okay, I'll carry on with this code actually. I want to show you something. So let's. So first of all, let me see what we need to do today before I go crazy. Drive. Node. And then we are week. We are week 3, right? Okay, perfect. So if we have a quickly look on week 2, let's recap. So week 2 we saw a lot of classes and object-oriented programming. We wrote a class, we used the newest features of JavaScript, so we use ES6. We use NPM. And we wrote some, basically we wrote a class, we saw methods, properties, we saw to write documentation for class, we saw all that goodies, right? So since you are a lucky class and we are doing very quick, we are moving quickly, we are gonna add a little bit more. So before start with this week 3, which is this one, oh, week 3. Yeah, so do you remember that we saw this? We saw ES6 and with Node. We saw the core modules. You remember the core modules? We use FS. We're going to use today HTTP, but before that I want to show you process, because process is actually a very interesting Node core module. So this is week 3. Let's see process first, and I want to use it in here. So this code is very nice. One advice I can give you, you see those 2 classes, Ina? You see you have 3 classes, right?
Yeah.
You can cut it and create a new file. Then you have then was a marriage shopping list. Okay, so this is the first improvement. So you can move them. You know, if you have another file that you need to do some operation, you can import those classes there. Second of all, it's better that you use capital letters and not snake case. This is snake case because there is a snake between the words. It will be better if you do this.
Also in first group does
Yes. So classes usually are with capital letters. And if you do, you can use this feature. If you are in VS Code, you can use rename symbol, and rename symbol will smartly do all the changes for you. So you don't need to find the replace. It will do it for you. So merge shopping list. So now you see this has changed, this one. You save everything, you rerun it, and it works. We can try to remove the error. So we have an error we set at a 5. It's this one. Yeah, and it works. So this is a bit better. Also, you could yeah. So this merge shopping list, we can have another tiny improvement. So this has the limitation that you can only merge two shopping lists, right? Now, this is fine. This is fine, but it would be so. Let's give it as homeworks for next time. Try to think how you can write, if you didn't do it already, a method that can merge any amount of shopping list. So this is good. This works, but it would be nice to just have an array of shopping lists and just pass any amount of shopping list here. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
It didn't really get it.
Okay, so she did this merge shopping list class, right? And this class
it can only merge two.
Yeah, it can only merge. You see if you see the constructor, you have a shopping list 1 and shopping list 2. So you can merge only 2 shopping lists. So if you have 3 shopping lists, you can use this one. So it would be nice to write like a class or whatever, a function, do whatever you want to do.
I used NODEjs.
Yeah. Either way, and there are many ways of solving this problem. But if you didn't do it, only if you didn't, try to think how to solve this problem. It's interesting. I can give you an advice. Try to look for this operator, 3 dots. The 3 dots operator, which is called the constructor. Okay? Okay, have a look at that one. That's my hint. Okay?
The method called 3 dots.
It's spread operator. Yeah, spread operator. Spread operator, yeah. Which is a three dots. You've right, I said 3 dots. So that will come useful if you need to do this thing. But I wanted you solve by yourself.
Marco, I try to merge the thing. Can you see? Is that the right way? I am sending on the Slack. I make a function and I take the whole array and there is one empty array. Then
I don't know why your code is because this is a snippet. Yeah. So you have a that's a
the original array where I store all the shopping list. And I take as a argument and put the array, and then in the empty array I put the product name and the price, and then console.
Yeah, but this is one item of the list. I'm gonna have, I want to have, let's say, 7 shopping lists. So let's say we are doing a party, right? So each of us has a shopping list. I want to put all our shopping lists, which are 6 shopping lists, in a function. And that function, it will try to create one shopping list, taking care of duplicates and so on and so forth. Does it make sense what I said?
Yeah.
I'll write it down, but it's not that simple.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's not that simple. I need to think as well how to solve it, but it's possible, obviously. Okay, but let's take this as a tiny exercise on classes for this week, even if we won't use much classes this week. Okay, I want to. Let's say bye to this. Let's say bye to this. I want to say one more thing. This is a class and it's fine. Like, I'm okay with it. But if I need to be super strict, merge shopping list, it's not an object in real life. In real life, you have a list and you have the items on the list. Merge shopping list is something abstract. Merge shopping list is an action. And it's an action that you can either do it with a function, a generic function, or with static methods. So you could have a static method on a class. So obviously all this logic is perfectly fine. The way you do static methods on a class, you could have it here. You just have a method that is, you start with static. And then you can have this one. So you take that one, you copy, and you have here static and that one. So what is the difference between a regular method and a static method? The static method is attached to the class, not to the instance of the class. I'll repeat that one. When I do new shopping list, this one is an instance of a class. You create a new, this is like a factory. Shopping list is like a factory. You just create a new shopping list with the name my shopping list 1. The static methods are connected to the class. So I can do this dot merge list. This method is on the class, not on the instance of the class.
So,
Do you feel the difference?
yeah, so if you put the the merge list into the static,
Yeah.
you can use it directly.
Yeah, directly, exactly, without create a new instance. I don't need to create anything new. I just say, where you merge, you probably merge down here.
Then
Yeah, so instead of do this, I will, just copy this line and say this is, and then here I can do this. As a shopping list. Yeah. So and this is the class. It's not the shopping list instance. Okay. So that's what this keyword is for. And this shopping list needs to take the 2 items. This one and the one. The one. and it's not this. It's not this, but it's, you don't need that one. Yeah. And you don't need the second one, that one. And probably you don't need
This shopping.
this. Oh, that. You're probably calling this somewhere else. I'm doing everything with one method. And you can, it doesn't exist, so this one is actually this. Yeah, okay. And then you need to return it. So when you go here, you need to return this. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's another way of doing it. I'm not saying that the class is wrong, but I'm saying that the static method on the class is better than just create a class, because a class should reflect to an object, and merge shopping list is a function. To me, it's like I would make a function. It doesn't really relate to an object. It is correct. It is correct to, I mean, code-wise it's perfectly fine, but from OOP, from object-oriented programming point of view, it's a bit strange. That's my opinion, but it's totally fine. Okay, they did a very good job. I like it. I will. I think it's like a 9 out of 10. So it's very good. It's very good. Okay, perfect. So so now we have this code, right? What about just for keep it super simple? I try. I'm just gonna comment this out. Actually, no, I keep this for you, so I don't want to mess up so much. Just call it like this and make a new file. Oops. New file, call it index.js, and I will import your stuff, which is good, and start from scratch. So I want to import this, and I want to import process. Okay, so let's have a look at process. And the most interesting part of process, the one we need to use, is our boom. Look at this. So process.arg give me the array of what I type in the console log. You see, the first thing I typed was node, which is actually user local bin node, because that's where it is. And the second element of the array is the path to the file. That's interesting. What about I do this? Add item. I have the node, I have the file, I have add, and I have item. That sounds pretty interesting. What about if I do this? Process.arg to, which is the third element, 0, 1, 2 is equal to add. Then I can create a shopping list. Okay. And then I'm expecting that the third part is the name. I'm not doing any checking now. Try to keep things simple. So the amount is the 4 and the 5th is the price. And then every time I do add, I want to do shopping list dot want to console log it. So now I can do carrot 10 130 Danish crowns.
But you have a question? How you do it like an object, like this in an object?
So what happened here is that I'm parsing the arguments coming from the command line. Okay. I'm taking you see add carrot 10 130. So I check if add exists. If add is add, I use the add item method on the class and I read carrot 10 and 130. I create a new, can you see in line, I create a new shopping item and I put the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th, which is carrot 10 and 130. So I create a new item and immediately put it in a shopping list. And then I console log the shopping list. Don't be confused. I use new right into the method, but this is the same as doing this. If this is more clear for you. Okay.
So we, first it captured the through the process.r.
Yes.
Captured its method, and then check either it hasn't. Or
Yeah, I check if the 3rd item, which is index 2, is add, and if it's add, I create a new shopping item with the arg of 3, 4, and 5, which is carrot 10 and 130. Create this new item and then add to the shopping list and then console log the shopping list. So now what I want that you do before we go into the network world is to add this tiny feature to your homeworks. So it's super simple. Basically, what you need to do is to add process and use process.add.
But with the where did the amount, price, and the name come from in the command line?
It's because I'm doing console log. I'm doing console log of the list of items.
No, in another.
Does make sense? Almost. This is basically a way to read arguments from the command line interface. This will be very useful in your life because you can write software that will continuously can change. You can pass some configuration like run this in debug mode or run this in with this port or blah blah. So this is a good way of doing it. Okay, spend let's say till 1:13, 12 minutes. Try to hack this in your code, and then we move with the H3. I go to have a little water.
And उसने एक्चुअली किया है कि उसकी जो क्लास का जो मेथड है वो उठाया है उसने कि प्रोसेस का डालू उसको रिटर्न करता है क्लास का मेथड
You
होता है
just need to add,
वही मैं
add
क्लास
the
अच्छा मुझे इंपोर्ट
ये
क्लास
project.
उसी ये क्लास इंपोर्ट की है
ओके
और इसमें से प्रोसेस का लगा के तो
उसने
उसको
कहा अगर वो ऐड है तो उसको ऐड कर
ऐड कर दे
लेकिन प्रोसेस 2 को उसने क्या किया पहले
प्रोसेस मसलन उसकी 3 आर्गुमेंट है ना उस मेथड के ऐड के कैरेट मसलन उसकी आइटम नेम आइटम मेरा ख्याल है वो 10 और 130 एक प्राइस है और एक उसकी मेरा ख्याल है कि कितनी उसकी अमाउंट है तो ये 3 उसने किया कि प्रोसेस स्टार्ट आर्ग्यू 3 आर्ग्यू 2 3 4 और 5 हाँ एक दफ़ा करके देखते हैं कि
How was that when we wanted to add this? Should we write note and then
So what the way what you write here is this.
okay, you start at what?
Or like, node dist index. Node start is actually node index. And then you do add, and then it's apple, 3 apples, 40 krona. It's the same. Either you do npm start or node dist index. Remember that if you go here, package JSON here, package JSON, and you see the node start is an alias of node dist index. Yes.
You should build it first and then start it.
Yeah, but NPM
Run the
watch.
npm start one or npm. You can look at the JSON file actually. Yeah, this works. Run watch. No, just then cd anytime with the
Do you want to have an extra minute, or are you're done?
Where is this quotes?
This one.
And then paste and then quotes again for the quotes. Let's move this index that means. Yeah. And we have this spacing. Oh yeah, because you have all you are already in downloads. You start with downloads. Yeah, you are already in downloads, so you should.
Start.
Okay, ready?
But I didn't try to problem when I
Marco, I have a question.
Yeah.
That and when you compare add with the process.org in the if condition,
Yeah.
that add comes from the
It's
method
one.
that is
You
defined in
should
the shopping list.
write in stuff.
That item.
But you should.
And
No, this one?
yeah.
I just invented
Exactly. Okay.
Write it here from
Just to check.
Was it just the command to write it here?
the
And then it
So when I
compares.
write this,
bash.
Okay.
so
It's just the. It's not the method. It's just the.
no. I'm calling the method here, right? I'm calling the method here. This is on just a string that I created. So you know, after I can do this.
Run wash and then another
Remove.
you can use it to.
So this is the, like a command for me, and then I can go here and do remove item.
And that remove which we compare, we have to put in the command line.
Yeah. So then I can write it something like this: remove. This was just an example. Like you can write whatever here. You can write Mickey Mouse, and then you need to write save it and write Mickey Mouse there.
You can also do it without the if statement.
Well, if you have, if I just said, if you want to have multiple commands, it would be nice to do something like this, right?
Alright.
Yeah. Or you can use switch. You know the switch case?
Yeah.
And here you can have like process.arg2. And then, you know, if it's add, oops, like that, right? And then, oops, I'm gonna break here. you could do this. There are many ways, but this is not important.
So what exactly does mean the procedure R2? It means the second.
The third.
The second.
The third
0, 1, 2,
Zero.
so
is the third.
that's
The first is the 0. The second is the 1, and the third
So
is
this two pointing in the class.
so yeah. So let's start. Maybe I was too quick. So let's start with this. You see this array. This array contains everything I typed in my. You see what I typed here? Node, user local bin node. This index.js, user MC dev issue bubble class node bubble this index.js. Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Apple, Apple. Tree, tree. 40, 40. Is taking everything I type in here, space, with a space, and put it in an array. So you can read.
in fact, from the path where it is installed and towards the file where we write whole thing in array. You can see that
What?
displays the array.
Yeah.
with that
Yeah, those
path,
are the full
all
path. Yeah,
the
yeah.
full path along
yeah.
the file
Yes.
where we write.
So if I write here in my code, I write the second. So sorry, the third, which is the 2. This will give me Mickey Mouse. Because it's 1, 2,
Now means
3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 0, 1, 2. So if I do process arg2, I get Mickey Mouse. If I do 3, Apple. This is perfect. This is comfortable to read arguments from the command line and then run your code. So for example, you can what I usually do. This is just an example. Have debug code. So I wrap my console log in a debug, and then if the bug is true, I print some console logs in between. Otherwise, when I don't want to debug it, I just don't pass any extra command line, and then I don't pass the bug, and then I'll run my code normally. This is not difficult. It's just to do process.arg, and you have an array of strings. Are we all on the same page? Okay, cool. So you saw some extra stuff today. We saw the exercise, we had the recap. Week 3. So now we start for real. Networks, HTTP server in Node, and then we will code an HTTP server by ourselves, a very simple one, with the modules, the core modules in Node, without use any external library. I'll repeat it. We will just use Node today for doing HTTP server without an external library. Next week, we are going to use an external library and see why this library we will use Express is better than what we write. We will try to show that what we write is actually incomplete. It's too simple. Okay. Networks. So what is a network? Network is a system of computers that interconnect together, and they can communicate, exchange information, and sharing resources. So that's a network. It's a set of computers of any scale nowadays. So computers and even bigger computers, right? Your smartwatch is a computer, anything is a computer, interconnected together. That's what is a network. So, question. Knowing that a network is an interconnection of computers together, name 3 networks that you use every day. So everyone use one big network.
It's
The biggest network you know,
Wi-Fi.
phone.
internet.
Internet.
That's the biggest network you know. Just like the most big network that exists. Then there is another network that we use.
The local.
Yeah, the local
service.
network. So that's those all the computer interconnected with your router, for example, your switch. That's your local network.
The home network, like we
Yeah.
connect with mobile phone, laptops, computers.
Yeah, and then for example, there is a network between your phone and your, for example,
Yeah.
Bluetooth headset.
Yeah.
That's a network. There's only 2 computers involved, your Bluetooth headset and your phone, but that's actually is a network itself. A very, very simple network with only 2 peers, only 2 nodes, but that's a network. So that's a very small network. Then we have our local area network, which is maybe the computers and the phones that we have at home, our smart TV. So that's probably 5-6 devices. And then we have immense, huge network that is internet with interconnect the basically entire world, right? So we know that there is a network, but we need a set of rules and a set of mechanisms to communicate, right? And those kind of rules and mechanisms are called protocols. So on top of a network, we have protocols. And one famous protocol is the HTTP. That's what we use in the web. That's what we use for transfer text and more actually. So the hypertext transfer protocol is an application protocol for distributed, because there are many computers distributed all over the place, collaborative because they work together, hypermedia because you send text, images, videos, right? Information system. HTTP is the foundation of data communication for the World Wide Web, for the web. And is structured text, the user logic links between node containing text. What is this logic links, hyperlinks? When you click on, so yeah, on a web page and there are,
Link, and then we go towards another.
So all those pages, all this hypertext because it's a rich multimedia text, is interconnected with logic links. The links they contain the origin, so let's say google.com, and then they have segments, let's say slash whatever. So that's the full URI. That's it's a resource. That point to a resource. That's a link. So you click those links and those different pages, and you get those different pages that are interconnected with those links. So that's very, very quick introduction to network, just to give you a little bit of background what's happening here. So obviously for us that we are developers, we want to have a software that can deliver HTTP. We want to deliver, our HTTP. We want to create our web page and publish it and run it. So we need a web server able to run HTTP. So other people can connect to our server and get an HTTP. Get an HTTP connection and get some text, some images, So that's our goal. That's actually the goal of this course is actually this. So what we've done now in the beginning, it's very, very, very important because those are the basics of Node. But the real goal of this course, because it's web-oriented course, is actually to create a web server, an HTTP server or web server. So you need to be able, after today's class and the next class, able to write your own HTTP server. And the journey starts now. So we are gonna start now. So, and why I'm saying this, because don't forget what I said in the beginning of the course. Node is not only for web. It is mostly used for web, but it's not only for web. Like Python, it's used for web, but it's not only for web. So, and that's why this is where the course became more specialistic and goes more towards the web. Because now we've seen object-oriented programming, we've seen features of the languages like promises. We saw some important software design architecture that will help us to write a web server. But now we write a web server. Okay, so we already know file system, we know process now, we know we use util. You remember we use util for Promesify? Yes. So we already use 3 Node core modules. So we are going to use a 4th one now, the HTTP. And the HTTP is a super important one, and you can find the documentation here. But this is everything is required to actually create a server in HTTP. This is like a super small one. We can actually copy it. I think I can just go here. Okay, there you go. Okay, yeah, we will need this later. Okay, I'll just keep it open. We will need this later. So let's code this. So I'm gonna clean my folder here, the dist folder. I'm gonna, let's do this. Let me copy this. Let me call HTTP. It's called server. Okay. And now let's create folder. So I'm creating a new project. It's a new file, index.js. I'm getting out of here. Yes. Okay. So I just create a new project basically from scratch. Now I have this index.js page here. And I want to run my watch here. Oh, I need a package.json. Perfect, and I'm gonna do npm install. This should not be necessary because I already have my node module folder here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So remove the folder and then install it again. Okay, perfect. So now I can do npm run watch. Yes. You see that this folder is created. Okay, perfect. We are on track. So we say we need HTTP, right? So we use actually the ES6 syntax. So we say import HTTP, everything, sorry, as HTTP from HTTP. Then what we need, fs.
Okay, that starts between everything.
Yeah, this starts says for everything. Take everything in this HTTP folder as HTTP. This is the same as writing this. And also let's create an indexed HTML file as well. So I'm gonna create here, right here, indexed HTML file. And I want to write something in my indexed HTML file. So my server in Node. Copy that one and I'll put it here. Let's put it like a title. Then let's put a paragraph. This is an example of NODEjs server. Okay. Let's write NODEjs like this. Okay. Save. Perfect. So we read that. So let's say import. I think we need to use. I'm not sure about this one. Yeah, yeah, we need to use this. So index page. Let's call it index page. Is fs.read file. I'm using the sync version here to make things a bit simpler. And then I'm gonna create a server like this. So I do HTTP, and you can see that I have some help. Then when I create a server, I have a callback. You see the callback, this function, and I have here request a response. You see, request a response, and returns nothing. The callback doesn't return anything. Then I can say, when you call this, write content type HTML. This is important, this line. I'm going to explain you why. And then send this. So basically, end is the same as to write send and end. So and also you could also do you know, I think it's not send, but it's but yeah, you use end, and you can pass what you want to send. No, it's not render. It's not render. No, it's right. And it's the same as do this. Instead of do write index page end, you can put index page here and skip the write. It's just slightly short. And then when you create a server, so let's do const server. So that's my server. Then you can make it listen to a port. So listen, and then you can write a port. Let's say 9100. So now if I do npm start, oh, I need to copy this in here. Path.
If it's NODEjs.
No, that should be fine. Let's just follow directory open index.html. Or I think I might get in this trouble. Yeah, I explained the problem here. Yes, so it works. This is my index page. Watch out when you do this. I actually do this mistake quite often myself. When you do this, this refers from when your application, from where you type your application. So where you start your application. So if I go in here, I go back in my folder, and I'm in this folder server, and I run npm start, you will think that this file is not in the dist folder, but it's in my server folder because I'm in the server folder. But if I cd in dist and I do node index and I start my application from here, this will work. It won't complain. But if I do this and I do npm start, this will complain. Will complain and say that you cannot open this file here.
Yeah, because file is not available there.
Exactly, because it's not in the server. You need to be careful of this. How to fix this? We need one more. We need one more module. And then we need to basically do path dot join, and will be their name. So now if you do this, yeah, you have no problem, because now I'm saying read index HTML file from the dir name, and I use the path join to take the two paths and join them together with this method here.
How can you do when you write npm start so it's open to index.js automatically? Can we do that?
The browser?
Yeah.
No, we cannot do that. But what we can do here is to actually write something. It's so we can do this. First of all, I will do this. Write port here. And then I will put port here. Then I will say console.log server started on port Let me use this one. Okay. So now when I run it here, I have this, and I reload, and this is working. Okay. So 15, no, not even 13 lines, right? If you move the console log and the comment is 13 lines. Try to write a tiny HTTP server that serves one page yourself. Basically this one. Remember to create an end indexed HTML page. This could be your React project or whatever, right? I don't have a React project now, but I'm just writing my own HTML. But this could be actually your React project.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because I'm making my profile now. How should I? Can I do that with Node that when I click on the styles run first and then this came up?
What do you mean the styles come first?
The style.
The styles? Why you want them to come first?
Yeah, because when I click, I get it from a JSON file. I created a JSON file, and when I click, it's get it from JSON file, and then when I click it, it's style came down.
Ah, okay. So you want to get the style. Why you don't embed the styles on the HTML?
I have created a style.css and
yeah, the way I usually fix this is to embed a little bit of styling in the HTML. It's called a critical CSS.
No, I don't know that. Create file.
Yeah, CSS. Have a look at this. It's basically to include a little bit of HTML in the a little bit of style in the HTML. So when the HTML travels, your styles travel together. Some basic styling travels together, and then you fetch the style afterwards. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drink some more water, then I go around. Is clear what's happening here for everyone?
Yes.
This is a super small HTTP server that serves one page called index.html. That's the simplest HTTP server ever you can write.
इधर मैं एक फोल्डर क्रिएट कर दूँ या उसमें ये वेबल का
उसी में वही जो बाबल नोड का है ना,
हाँ
उसी का ये कॉपी करके क्रिएट फोल्डर बना।
Remember to start your watch. the npm run watch to compile.
I was wondering if I send this seems
Yeah, that's good. It works.
and how would I be able to do any PM stuff?
Oh, create a new one. Do like this button. No. This, yeah. And then you do it there. So you need two terminals. You need one terminal for run the watch, and one terminal for do npm start, for example, or whatever. Remember that all this about the boilerplate. There's a lot of documentation in the README file. So have a read in the README file.
For Node.
No, there is a README. You see, if you go in the boilerplate, there is a README file. In the node bubble.
Then copy for the folder में ऐसे source वाला
No. Okay. So I wrote some documentation there. So the content type text HTML is to communicate to the browser that what I'm sending has to be interpreted as HTML. So what if I change? Do you remember what I said about HTTP? HTTP is a hypermedia, right?
Yeah.
And you can send many things, not just HTML. You can send pretty much anything. And you need to communicate to the browser what you are sending. So the browser can render correctly what you're sending because it doesn't know, right? Sometimes you send some HTML, sometimes you send some styles, sometimes you send some JavaScript, sometimes you send JSON. So you don't always send HTML. Sometimes you send something different, right? And the content type in the header, it's what specify how has to be how has to be rendered the page. For example, this particular case we want to render the indexed HTML page as an HTML. So that's why we have this one. Do you know what this 200 stands for?
What?
Yeah, I remember I was waiting this XH. Ajax.
So 200, what does it stand for? It's an HTTP status code. So you definitely know one status code. Everyone knows one status code, 404. right?
Yeah.
404 is an HTTP status code, and every status code that starts with 4 is an error. 404 is, for example, page not found. Every status code that starts with 4, for example, it's an error that we handle. Every status code that starts with 5 is an error that cannot be handled. Like 503, it's a service, not a server doesn't respond. 404 is a page not found. If you go in my slides and you click in the link, there is this page where it explains all the error codes. And this is what 200 stands for. You see, there is the 1, 2, say 200, the 300, the 400, 500, the 200 here. It's okay. Everything is good. 404, which is here, it's not found. 401 is unauthorized. So, for example, when you want to log in and your password is wrong, you get a 401. 503, yeah, service unavailable. You see? Service unavailable. The link of this page is in the slides, is this one. HTTP status code. And this is important because you need to give the correct status code to the browser to throw the correct message. You know, status code is like a label to say, hey, everything went okay, 200. Or what you are looking for is not found, 404. Oh, the server is crashed, 503. Or you try to log in but you're not authorized, 401. So it's a good, you know, you need to design your application so you give the correct status code so the client from the other side that receive messages from the server, you know, it works accordingly. So, you know, if it receives 404, it will display page not found and so on and so forth. Okay. So there is a tiny problem with this server that everything I write here, it returns the same. Every request I do to this server, it always returns the same page. So it's very, very simple.
Yeah.
It's very simple HTTP server, right? So what we want to do is this. We want to make a more clever HTTP server, starting from this. So we saw that this works, right? It's fine, but it's pretty dumb. It always answers with this page, this one. So I want that you create in your dist folder 3 pages. So you have an index.html page, then you create a new file and you do super HTML, then you do about HTML. Okay, so I have 3 pages. I'm gonna, you know, write some HTML5. So super page. So the super page will have the title super, and we'll have some text. This is my super page. Here is where I explain my superpowers. Okay? About will be like super. Are you following, guys?
Yep.
I'm going slightly quick because this is simple. About page, it will have an about title. this is my about page. Here I'll tell you a few interesting things from me. Okay, and then I have the index page.
Marco, we are not creating HTML and JS in the SR folder, SRC folder.
Source code.
It is in this.
No, I'm creating in this. In this, yeah. So yeah, I'll delete this one. Yeah, we need to create in this because this is what is served. Okay. Otherwise, we need something else that will copy over every time from source to this, and I didn't set that up. So I'm creating in this. Okay, so I have 3 pages: index, about, and super. Okay. So now here. How can I? So my idea is this. So when I write in my browser super here, I go to my super page. When I write about, I go to my about page, and when I don't write nothing, I go to my index page. I'll repeat. Super to the super page, about to the about page, and nothing to the index page. So this is I'm building a website now, okay? Cool. How do you do that? So if you see the request, so before we move forward, let's have a look at this. And I will take advantage of my debug tool. So I will put a breakpoint here. I will save it, and I will go in debug mode and run it. Now the service is running here. If I hit this, it will eventually stop. Oh, let me close that. I don't know why the bug is not working. Okay. Well, doesn't matter. I'll just console log it. I'll console log that. I just want to show you how is the request. Okay. So I run that. So I'm reloading the page and I get the request here. So if you see the request, it's a huge JavaScript object. You see how big it is? It's immense. It's a very, very long object. And this object at some point has headers, you see? So we got headers, we got the URL. So if I display URL here, and I reload this, down here I will have, need to get started, reload, I will have a URL. Look at this. So URL is SD and my icon, which I don't have it yet. This icon is the one you said, you know, here, like this one or this one, which I don't have yet. Okay, so if I do this and I hit that, I will have about. That's exactly what I wanted, right? So what can I do now with this rec URL?
Request.
So if this about, then this will be super, and I will put my super page. And then if it's this, I will have my index page. And if you don't know what to do an index page. Okay. So let's restart this. Remember that after you compile, you need to also stop and restart the server. So if I do about now, I go about. If I do super, I go to my super page. If I don't have anything, I go my index page. If I write crap here, I go to the index page. Would be nice to actually say this page is not found. It would be nice to okay, so I create a 404 page that says page not found. Now here, instead of say in any other case go to the index page, any other case go to the 404 page. We don't have the 404 page yet, but we can create it by doing this. Oh, you cannot start names with numbers. So I just put it an underscore in front. Okay, yes. So I stop and start that again. And now if I hit this, we say, sorry, this page went fine. I click on the index page and I go back to index. And if I have about, I go to about. And then if I have super, I go to super. And if I have nothing, oops. If I have nothing, I go here. But if I have crap, I go to this one. Does it make sense what I did there? So now our web service is a bit more clever because we say we import the pages here. And then we have this switch case that will route. This I wrote a kind of a router now. I said for this segment, this is a segment of the URL. go to this page, and so on and so forth. Try to do the same. Remember to put your HTML in the this folder. Be quick so we go to have lunch and we are the first.
Lots of times sent the code on.
Yeah, yeah.
And also the previous one.
I can give you this one.
I don't know what's. I have an error.
Uh-oh. Just give me a sec. See. Yeah.
Can I find small?
Did you put do you have this folder? Yeah. Are you running the compiler?
No, it's just
Watch. Not the watch.
Not watch, but yeah. I use hard.
Yeah. Are you running the watch? I'm saying.
No, I just one build and then
okay.
start again.
So which is cannot find more. Oh, go back. I think I'm in trouble. Yeah, you call your source server. You need to call this index. The starting point is index.
Oh yeah.
I put it on Slack, but try to write yourself because it's healthy for you. And I'm doing an error here. So it is true that I need to send 200 for those pages, but what I need to send for this page?
404.
404, perfect. So when I write crap here, and if you go in the network, I'll get a 404. So if you go in the network here in Chrome, in the console log, or in the network tab here, and I try to reload the page. Do all. You go here. Have this. This is the preview, and the headers say. This is important, so the browser knows that this is a problem. I've got 404 here. When I hit this page, localhost, it's 200. Okay. It is important that if I write crap, I get a 404 here. It's important. It has to, it has to be matched. So if you're saying that this resource is not found, you need to send 404. I was doing a mistake before. Huh? You need to have this bright head here. So I'll put a new one here. Delete that. new snippet. Okay, perfect. Fix that one.
So I'm not going to be here second class.
Yeah. The second part, you mean? Yes. Okay. Yeah, but I'll record, so you can still see the record and remember to do homeworks. No worries. Yeah. So no problem. No problem.
I'm getting this error.
Yeah. We just say.
I'm clicking on this next one, and also this one.
Yes.
And
In this, you need to create it.
I have to create in this.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to create a new file. Because the bubble is not copying over from source to this, so we are creating ourselves directly in this.
Oh,
But ideally, we should have something like Webpack that will also copy over our HTML from the source to this. But because we're not using Webpack now, we just create directly in this ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but why when I write HTTP query so that it doesn't show you?
Oh, you don't have autocomplete. That's strange.
I guess I'm
Oh, that's strange. Why? Did you install the Node package on Visual Studio Code?
started.
Like, I think it's this one. If you go an extension, I have this one on. This one.
No debug.
Let me do. Oh yeah, if you go and install here, you can see that I've.
Like auto-completing from Node or what?
It should work out of the box. Try to Google. Try to Google it and see what's the problem.
One more, it's giving the error that I haven't the package.json file. So ये तो इसको कॉपी कर दूँगी। DIST ये सोर्स है वो उसमें होने लगा मैंने सबसे पहले ये चला मैं वो उस फोल्डर में नहीं था, मैं कहीं दूसरे फोल्डर के ऊपर चला रहा था मैं वो नोट इधर स्टॉप कर रहा था ये फोटो लिखना आ रहा था ये फोल्डर में कैसे फोल्डर हमने जो बताया था कोड कौन सी थी नहीं ये जो है ना जो इंडेक्स वाली है इंडेक्स ये इसमें सर्च है बाकी जो दूसरी है ना HTML की फाइल वो इसमें डिस्प्ले है इंडेक्स और उसके बाद सुपर वो उसमें आप ये पॉइंट आउट किया हुआ इसमें इधर क्लिक करें ओपन करें
Should we have lunch? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anytime, you know. So.
import dot
No, I just down first.
Are we done?
almost and start debugging. We go.
Syntax element कहाँ से आया? ये तो समझ में आता है।
This Visual Studio which
Syntax element कहाँ से आया? मेरे सर पकड़ के बैठ गया। ये देखो अभी मैंने निकल किया। ये syntax element दे रहे हैं।
इसमें ये खाने
HTTP कहाँ पे? ये रहा है इतना सिंपल सा काम और देखो सिंपल चीजें सामने की बात है लेकिन अब ये HTTP रीजन में कोड करना है जब इनको कॉपी पेस्ट किया कहाँ से ले रहा है कुछ नहीं आपने सिंटैक्स ठीक लिखा हुआ इसको अगर चलो आगे
really this one's opening. It's
But-
really really slow.
Okay, but it will stop. Will it stop?
Yeah.
Because it's continue open and open.
Yeah, let's just continue until it flies away.
Okay. Okay.
No, I think usually it closes automatically after 5 minutes.
Oh.
Otherwise, you just have to press it open.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some fresh air.
I like that you eat fruit.
Yeah, I cannot only eat bread there, so I eat bread. You're senior now, right?
Yeah.
In Damboli. Damboli
What's that?
is a house rent website. Damboli. No?
Polyhood.
Oh, okay. Totally different.
Yeah, Polyhood.
Polyhood,
Yeah.
okay. So you first studied in Denmark and you came here and working?
So I did my bachelor in Italy.
Oh, okay.
Then I came here and I did my master.
Oh,
2 years of master in Gimpo, near Copenhagen.
did you?
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
I know the university.
Yeah. I did my master DTU and after that I started to be working.
But you started as a senior developer? That means
No,
you've been
no.
working for a long time, right?
I've been working for 6 years now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've like more than 5 years experience. But yeah, I mean all the junior senior things is a bit blurry, right? Because there are people that have very few years of experience and they are very very strong, or at least in that particular field, you know, they are very very strong. So the senior junior, yeah,
It's the same for you.
It is a thing, but I mean, because you have, I don't know, 1 year of experience doesn't mean that you are worse than me. Because maybe you are better than me, even if you have less experience than me.
But I saw a senior developer. I saw you at least working around 10 to 20 years. And
Yeah,
almost
no, here in Denmark it's 5 years.
Okay.
So yeah, senior is more than 5 years experience. So after 5 years, we expected you know what to do, you know. You are totally autonomous. So you are able to take a problem and solve it autonomously.
Your working environment very stressful or?
No, it's not very stressful now. No, it's actually nice. It's
It's fun.
it's relaxed and
Okay.
we work a lot, but it's not stressful.
Can you hear music when you
Yeah, we have headset and you can play headset. Obviously, there are meetings and stuff and coordination. Sometimes you work two people, one computer. So like me and him, we sit in front of a computer, like program, pair programming, to solve it together. Because like it's better to have two brains and
Yeah.
and two hands than one brain and four hands. So it's like sometimes you just join it together. It's not about how much you type. It's thinking.
No thinking, okay. But sometimes while working with some other persons, I also feel really
But
stressed.
you work or you already work? Oh.
No, I had a
But you're stuck.
bachelor. I
Yeah.
had a master, but in China.
Mhm.
So I came to Denmark because I got married. I got married in Denmark.
Yeah.
So then I still looking for a job, but I haven't found one. But my working is kind of like boutique. So it's like shop assistant.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
In Copenhagen.
yeah, in clothes or
No, it's about souvenir.
souvenirs.
So I don't need to speak Danish.
No.
So I
No.
because they're
So you are like a sales assistant.
yes.
And now you wanna work more in the web industry. Or
Yeah.
In the programming industry.
Sometimes I think if you don't have degree here, you cannot find a job.
Well,
Because I have degree in China, but it sounds like it looks like if you don't have
If
degree,
you have a good skills, then I think you can find a job.
yeah.
but it's really hard.
But which degree do you have in China?
It's about environmental engineer.
Okay. So no, it's not related to programming or anything.
It's related a little bit because it's like a computation. We actually learn MATLAB and we use,
Yes. I use MATLAB as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do like modeling
Yeah,
and
environmental modeling.
simulations
Yes,
about. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Well, I know that if you have a degree that is relevant to programming, like computer science degree or similar, it's easier.
Yes.
Obviously. But there is so much demand now that it is possible to actually find a job, and the best way is to prove that you're good. Like they don't, obviously a master in computer science helps. I mean, that's definitely a plus, but it's not everything. If you're good and you can prove that you can do it, why not?
Last week I applied for a position. It's about front-end developer, and they give me a test, and I made it around 3 to 4 days. I thought maybe it's too slow because they didn't respond to me.
test?
Yeah, I applied for a job and they
Yeah.
gave me a test.
Okay,
So
so like they give you like an exercise or something,
Yeah.
like a challenge.
Yeah, it's like
In fact, they just give like an interview. You just should interview.
Yeah, sometimes they also did to me. Sometimes they give you also something to solve.
It's like I made this website, but it takes around 3 days. So you think that they didn't respond me. They said I don't need to have really link to every buttons, and they only allow me to do this program box. And
So this is what you did.
yeah, this is what I did.
Okay, well that's pretty good.
But they didn't respond me.
Okay, but don't worry about that. It's normal. Like fail an interview, it's pretty normal.
So I'm thinking maybe.
Like I failed it 50 times or something.
50.
I probably did in my life nearly 100 interviews. Like before, when I change job or something, I check 15, 20 companies before make a decision.
Okay.
And some of them are not, they don't take me or, so it's normal, totally normal. Don't worry about it. Actually, what I've seen is pretty good. So I think try to build something and put it on GitHub. You know, that's what I do. That's like a very good.
If you are hiring one, if you see this, will you hire them or what? Like just decide. It's my portfolio.
Ah, okay, so yeah, I can't see much, it's too small.
But this one it is just the number.
So this is your like web page or screenshot?
Yeah, it's my second portfolio. I have also another one, but this one is second and the design.
Okay, nice, yeah. Oh, that's pretty good.
And this one project is my profiles. This
Nice.
is skills and random thing and like what I do detail.
Well, you know, I'm sure that you know you need to be in the right network and there's job. There are many opportunities. It's actually the best industry to be in now.
Also, I attached the JSON, but I also need to. I want to add some notes.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to do, but I learned it now.
Yeah. But yeah, what about the job industry is tough, but there are a lot of jobs. So don't worry about it. It's just matters of time.
It's possible to create a contact page with Node.
Yeah. No, so NODEjs is just we are using now Node as a web server.
Yeah, but in my like Twitter, I want to create a contact page. This one that they can send me email like.
You want to write background?
Like when you
You need a like a backend. Yeah, you need a web server that will get the emails and save it in a DB, for example.
It's possible to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. You need an API. You need an endpoint API. We're gonna look at all that. We go step by step now. So should we close this? Okay. So yeah, few terminology. Let me stop and start this again.